Hello everyone, and welcome to some more Dungeon Fighter. I can never stay away from this game, as evident. That last episode was recorded 21, literally when I came back to playing it. Now it's been a while, a few weeks I think, and I am more excited than ever to be playing this game again. I decided to do a few, I don't know, like a mini-series? I don't even know what to call it. But basically I'm going to be running through the characters that I use the most of, and just playing with them a bit, talking about them specifically, what I like about them, so on and so forth. All that nonsense. And if the thumbnail gave it away, I'll be using Eienias this time. A lot of things changed about Dungeon Fighter since I came back to it. I believe I obviously reacted to and touched on a few of them in my other video, part 21, when I first came back to it because a lot of the HUD changed. But the game is now labeled as Dungeon Fighter Remastered. You know, better quality, sprites, characters, just everything is prettier and overhauled in a really good way. It's nothing but awesome changes have been made to the game since I came back to it, so that's a good thing. Anyway, so Eienias is my Warlock, and he is actually at the Ice Wall of Resignation, I think. But as you saw, when you boot up the game and you choose your character, it drops you off in the lobby, in the channel of the area where you should be in, quote-unquote. So, he's at the level where I can go to Ghent, the City of God, if I wanted to. But I'm not done with the story quest in Ice Wall yet, so I had to change the channel and come back here. So it's a little annoying, a little bit, but not really, because it doesn't take that long to change channels. Here I'm just looking through all my stuff, getting everything organized and ready. The guild that I'm in. I think that was the guild that I was in. My items, as I do. And there's this old guy here that lets you play like a little mini game for clover points that you can use to buy stuff from him. It's a really easy mini game, so I'm gonna do it in a bit. Just because. It's also very cute. It turns your Dungeon Fighters into these little chibi versions of themselves. And chibi's never not adorable. And that's just me grabbing a bunch of things, because why not? Yeah, that's another cool thing. The game started giving out level up tickets, level up coupons. I'm not sure what the exact way to get them is, but they basically, your character levels up, and you complete all the assorted quests tied into that level. You know, so they just give you the money for completing all the quests, since you don't need the EXP. Like that, there, I leveled. Nice. I actually don't know what level I am. I'm looking at the preview screen in Vegas Pro. It's very tiny. I can see the screen, but I cannot read the level. It's too small. I'm at a pretty decent level, I imagine. Yeah, here's the mini game. When I first played it, I actually failed horribly. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do. So I actually tried to hit all the robots. I'm like, do I get points for destroying them? No, you're not supposed to hit them. That's a bad. You just gotta run through this course all the way to the end. There is an end. I didn't know that. I thought it was just an endless runner. Get as many points as you can. Good times. Fun times. Music's great too. Anyway. So, Eienias is my Warlock. He's a male mage character. The first time I've ever played as a male mage, because when I originally played Dungeon Fighter forever ago, in the original launch of the game, when it was owned by Nexon, I think I only had a Slayer, and maybe a Fighter. I don't know if I had anyone else. But, so I made the male mage early on into the Neopal run of Dungeon Fighter, and I've really been enjoying it. He's like one of my favorite characters to play as. He's a shit ton of fun. The way that he attacks, all his techniques, the skills are really fun and awesome. My favorite one, I have a lot of favorite ones. Show them off as we get into the dungeons, though. Anyway. But yeah, so he's a Warlock, which is, I believe, his awakening. He started as just a mage. He advanced at level 15 to Elemental Bomber, and then he awoke at level 50, I think, to a Warlock. Which, those class changes, they give your character new abilities that they can have access to. So like my skill tree has a few abilities that I cannot use until I second awaken, which happens at level 70, I think, or 80, one or the other, or 75 maybe, somewhere up there, really high up. That's when you can second awaken and you'll gain access to that stuff. So it's like this ability can be learned at level 72, and I'm level 73, but I still can't learn it because I need to second awaken. That's the situation with my main character, who has not yet second awoken, but is really high up in levels. She's actually the only one who can second awaken. It's my first time attempting it, and man, it's hard. But enough about that. So, as a Warlock, previously Elemental Bomber, my mage has access to all the elemental types of magic. Electricity, fire, ice, and darkness. Or light, actually. I think, does it count as electricity or light? I think it's light. I think it's light, darkness, fire, and ice. As the lightning attacks fall into the light category as well. Actually, I don't think there are any light attacks, but I do think it counts as light. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but who cares? And so my hotbar, you can see my skills next to my MP, which is the big blue circle. Once again, I can't make them out too well, but they're really awesome stuff. You'll see them a lot more in practice once I actually get into a dungeon, which is what I'm doing now. Where am I going? What dungeon? I like this too. It actually shows the map. When you're doing the epic quests, which are basically the story of Dungeon Fighter, the dungeons are actually very linear, which I actually really like that. I hated running through the labyrinthian dungeons like 80 million times in a row for because you needed to just picking up items for quests. Just the old way that story quests were handled in the game were very tedious. So I actually like this new way that they changed it, where as long as you go through all the rooms, you'll probably be fine. Anyway, the story of the Ice Wall of Resignation is, like, for this area that I'm in, is, I think, let's see if I can summarize this, because the story of Dungeon Fighter was actually really hard to follow, for me anyway, for the longest time, but I think I got it. So, in the Ice Wall of Resignation, there's this portal that leads into the Nightmare, which people believe is like a waking world of like some kind of other reality, and I think that's the best way to summarize it. It's an actual, I think that's what they figure out at the end of it, that through the portal is actually another dimension, like another Arad, I think is the name of the entire world. So there's another one through there that has all the same places and characters as this one, but different and arguably worse things happened over there. For example, right now I'm going through an alternate version of a GBL library, which the GBL is like a cult of people. They're not exactly bad people as I know them, though. In the Behemoth area of the game, before this area, you meet their leaders, Vangelis and Isadora, and they're nice people. You know, you get along with them, they're cool. But in this alternate version of their history, they have been corrupted and they're actually evil. So you actually fight alternate versions of them as bosses in this dungeon, Isadora, and Vangelis, which is pretty crazy. When I first played the game, I didn't quite catch that part, so I assumed that I was fighting the same people from Behemoth. I'm like, why am I fighting them now? This doesn't make any sense. They're friends. What's going on? So yeah, that totally slipped me. So yeah, normally my character throws out non-elemental bullets when he attacks, but I have a move called Element Shift where I can change the element of my bullets to whatever I want. In this case, they're fire. That Icicle Rain attack, I absolutely love it. But that one, Dark Zone, where he like holds his hands out and this like pulse of darkness comes out of him, is like the strongest move that he has, I think. Like every time I use it, whoever gets hit by it dies. Like it clears rooms, assuming that everyone in the room is very close to you, because it has a pretty confined range. But it's really fucking powerful, so I absolutely love it. Am I gonna do another move that I really like? No? Okay. Yeah, the icicle, shooting attack isn't that bad either. That one's really awesome, though. I've been considering getting rid of the icicle shooting attack, but, I don't know. It has a lot of, utility, so I keep it around. Boss time. Anyway. Yeah, there's a lightning wall. I absolutely love that shit. It's incredible. So in addition to just throwing bullets, I have two other, like, techniques that, have to do with my bullets. One is rapid fire, where I just hold my hand and shoot like at 6 bullets or something. I don't know how many. Rapidly, obviously, really useful. And the other is a element cannon. It's a gigantic bullet shot of whatever element my bullets have at the moment, and it does a shit ton of damage. To be completely honest, I don't know if the bullets with elements actually do more or less damage depending on the affiliation of the monster that you're fighting. Like, if the monster is literally a floating ball of fire, and I'm using fire bullets, do they do less damage as if I were using ice bullets? I actually have no way of seeing it because the numbers in this game pop up and they're all so big, like 5 digits, and there's always so many of them that it doesn't really affect me either way. All I know is as long as I use Dark Zone, whoever I'm fighting is dead, so that's cool. I really have no idea though. So anyway, like I was saying, this is an alternate universe, and the nightmare, the thing that is like affecting us or something, I think he's like just... I can't quite sum him up, but we're basically trying to hunt this nightmare. It's like this weird manifestation of shadows. I think it's called the Foundation of Nightmare. I'm not entirely sure what his deal is. I could probably tell you if I ran through the story again and actually paid attention to every little thing, but I'm not going to do that, so I think we're cool. It's just see for yourself type of deal. This is a really fun game. The story's not that ridiculous. It used to be, but I've long since gotten a hold of it. I wonder if I do it, but when your character's past a certain level, I think 50, your other characters can actually call them in to help you. So like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like another square above my techniques, above the blue bar, or the blue circle, and it's linked to, I think that's my Slayer, my female Slayer, True Blade Mia. But basically, you hit tab, they run in, and they do the move that you assign them to do, and then they leave. And it's actually very useful, depending on who it is, what ability. My favorite thing to do is call in my female fighter, though, because she has a net move, which can catch enemies and pull them in, and they'll stay stuck in the one location for a while, which is extremely helpful for some other characters who have big moves that require your enemies to be holding still, or just easier to shoot them with. So, very awesome. But right now, I think my female Slayer has Sanguine Choreography equipped, which is a really awesome skill. So since I started playing Dungeon Fighter again, I actually discovered that I have 3 permanent avatar tickets. Which, as you can see, my male mage is wearing clothes, like different clothes from what he normally wears. The male mage's actual outfit is like purple, you know, really baggy and stuff. But he was wearing is a really nice, slick white suit that I absolutely love. I got it from the mileage shop. What that is, man, there's a lot of explaining in this episode today. But I like it. You need to learn more about this game so you can go fucking play it because it's awesome. And join me on the field of battle. Anyway, how great a Colossus. Fuck this guy. Oh yeah! And there's my signature skill. Awesomeness. I just absolutely wrecked the boss. He meant nothing to me. Jeez. That's a really great skill too, that all those chain explosions that I just did. Incredible. The elemental attack that I just did with the giant chain explosions. Each of the, it goes through all 4 elements, and it ends with whatever element you currently have equipped, and that one is the biggest explosion. That thing has more blast than the other ones, so. Mileage shop. A lot of mechanics to explain. That's a store that sells different clothes for your character, you know, avatars is what they're called, I believe. It usually has 2 sets of avatars. This is one of the sets. The other one is like an idol set. And they're sold for mileage, which mileage, one way I know you get it is by just clearing dungeons. The game will tell you, it'll give you like 1 mileage at a time. I think I have like 500 saved up. And those avatars that you buy from the mileage shop are limited to I think like 2 weeks or something. After that they'll disappear and you'll go back to your old clothes. But since I had 3 permanent avatar tickets and I didn't know how to use them, what I decided, you know what, let's give them to my male mage since I'm using them so much. So So the clothes he has on now are now permanent, and I'll never lose them. Not all clothes work like that. There's another store in the game that uses Sarah, which Sarah is bought using real money. And anything you buy with Sarah is permanent, as far as I'm aware. One of my characters, I bought their clothes with Sarah. Just one, though. Anyway. So yeah, the mileage shop is really cool. It has some really good stuff in there. They actually sell more Avatar permanent tickets. So yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah, that was my female slayer. She just ran in. I heard her laughing. That was True Blade Mia. Anyway. So I'm waiting though, because I want to get clothes for everyone. Right now, the only characters who don't have unique clothes are my male slayer and my thief, who are the characters I use the least. Once I get my male mage to a certain point, I'm not actually sure where, I'll probably swap over to my male slayer. He's about to awaken himself, so... You know, he'll join the party eventually. But until then, I will continue enjoying the awesomeness that is the male mage. He's a really cool character, really fun to play as. Always will recommend. I recommend everyone. I recommend this game. Dungeon Fighter is really fun. It's very simplistic, you know, a dungeon crawling beat 'em. Oh, there's Vangelis. The evil version of Vangelis, anyway. Blow up Vangelis. Oh yeah, he's the annoying boss, now that I think about it. If you get his HP down to certain points, you can't, like, right now he's invincible. You can't hit him. He's doing some move to summon a warrior. The warrior's over there sealed. Then he'll be invincible until you kill the warrior, and then you can hit him again. It's kind of annoying. It makes the fight take a lot longer than it should. Any bosses with phases kind of annoy me. It's like I just want to beat them up. I want to use all my awesome abilities, and they're not letting me. Oh well. Which, by the way, my next character I'm going to make, whenever I get around to it, my 7th character, I think, is going to be a priest. I've been wanting to make a priest for a long time, I just never got around to it, so... Next time! There we go. Sanguine choreography. So yeah, you saw all my characters in the opening, but in case you weren't aware, you can always go back to it. I was on the start screen for a while. Just take a look at those people, and if you ever make an account, just type in their information and see if I'm on. Shoot me an email in-game or something, seriously, and ask if you want to play for a bit. I'm totally down with that. Seriously, you don't even need to be the same level as I am. You could be higher or lower, I don't fucking care. The more people play as is never a bad thing for me. So yeah, I think that's all that I could talk about my male mage. Like, at least relevant to my male mage. I don't know anything else that's inherently interesting to say right now anyway. And there are a lot of other, like, finer points and details in this game to things, but we're better off just leaving that to you to discover. Not like there's really much else I could say. Except for this shit right here. Every section, every dungeon in this area, the ice wall ends with you trying to find the nightmare and fight it. I think this is the worst version, where you have to actually look through all the barrels and pots and find the specific pot that has the seed of nightmare in it. Man, frustrating. Oh well. Anyway, that's my male mage, Eienias. That's what he's got, that's what he brings to the party, and that's why I love him. Really awesome guy. So, yeah, play Dungeon Fighter. I'll always recommend it. So anyway, that's all for this episode. See you next time with a rundown of my demolitions. So, until then, asa.